Don in London, hello. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. And I've forgotten the date. It's May 8th, 2009. Hello, Don in London. Yeah, my addictive substance, alcohol, my behaviour, trying to be perfect in all departments, I guess. Workaholic, relationshipaholic, you name it. I tried to do my best so that you would like me. I guess because I wasn't quite sure who I was or what you might like, and a certain sort of fear of not actually being good enough seemed to prevail for quite a long time. And what took the edge off all those awful feelings of not really understanding life was alcohol. And it could have been anything else, but substance or behaviour. Substances could be drugs, chocolate, as well as alcohol, or all of them at different times. And the behaviour of the workaholic, relationshipaholic, the gymaholic, any oldolic, you name it, we can get absolutely stuck in a behaviour which becomes dominant and makes us self-obsessed. So what am I these days? Less self-obsessed, I hope. Learning a bit of experience, strength and hope just on a daily basis. And what helps me most of all to be a part of family, community, society and whatever else is going on is the fellowship of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. And people arrive in meetings of AA, normally unique, authentic, still not quite sure who they are, and they go out every time unique and authentic, and maybe knowing a little bit more of how to make life work as we go along. And it takes a while to get our bearings and stop the addictive behaviour or substance long enough to make sense of what life could be like, which is a better connection to now, the spiritual, less denials and less filters, understanding our emotions more and less, or where they are, how am I feeling, why, what can I do, and our physical nature, if you like. How are we doing physically? Are we well or are we sick? Or have we got other things going on for us? And I've got type 1 diabetes and clinical depression, and those are gifts I learned about and got in recovery because I was simply living longer. So there is no special treatment from any particular higher power or God when it comes to trying to sort out how to live and what might happen to us. We are all susceptible to anything and everything. So the gift is living longer. I've got more maladies clocked up now. And I don't mind that. It's just part of life, and I make the best of what is rather than wishing it something or desiring it something and it being all out of proportion. So I guess I'm an absolute fan of Alcoholics Anonymous, or any anonymous fellowship which makes life easier for you. Or if you don't need any anonymous fellowship, all the better. And this is all about recovery from maladies and mishaps, I guess, and what to do in the moment of now. What can we do now to improve our situation and our condition? So often it's really about moving from the problem into the solution of living and experiencing what is, rather than wishing it different. And we can get really stuck in wishing things were different in the future, or looking back at the past and not actually learning any lessons, but just wallowing in what happened. And the gift these days is if we don't wallow and we are in the moment, we can use our wisdom learned and change things on a daily basis. So that's what AA does for me. And I'll just share the AA preamble, which is said at least 600 times a week in London, because that's how many meetings there are, or more. And it goes like this: AA. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. It does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And in that last sentence, this is my way of sharing a message of experience, strength and hope. And the other part of it is that, as I say often, unique, authentic people go to AA, and every time they walk out of the meeting they're still unique, authentic, with a bit more wisdom maybe than when they went in, or just an understanding that life isn't so bad as it might be. And if we live in the solution, it's not covering up the problem, it's absolutely acknowledging where we are today with all the problems that we have, and then saying, well, what can I do, or what can we do, and listening to others, and being connected to problem solvers. sounds good, doesn't it? But you know, we're all human, and all we ever do is make progress, because it's never going to be perfect. And that's the gift. We can make progress and acknowledge what we can do and cannot do. And books help me illustrate the point here. And I went to a meeting of AA last night at Eaton Square. It's called the After Eights. And the reason it's called After Eights is because it is after 8 p.m. in the evening. But more importantly, it's for people who share, as the principal purveyors of their knowledge, with at least 8 years' experience of sobriety. And that's continuous sobriety, not drinking or drugging or using any behaviour to fix themselves, except life, of course. And, you know, what are the problems of later sobriety, 8 years plus? And of course there are people in the room there at 40 odd years or more, decades in recovery, and still people who are brand new or with a few days under their belt and still very confused about life. And the gift is we all learn that whether you're 40 odd years sober or 1 day sober, still the same things have to be done to keep on an even keel. Understanding where we are right now in reality, which is spiritual, no denials and no filters, or less denials and less filters, and then what have we got to work with? And we listen to the wisdom of everyone, and very often we need the reminder from the newcomer of just how awful it is to be stuck in the malady of drink, rather than being in the solution and not drinking and making life work as it may. So I use these books. One of them is Daily Reflections, a daily one-pager, AA literature, and also from As Bill Sees It, the co-founder of AA, long time dead, but he amassed an awful lot of wisdom over the years, as we all do, and it's collective wisdom. And the gift is, when we walk into a room of AA, there may be hundreds of years of experience of sober rather than hundreds of years of drinking behaviour. In fact, we've got both, but we prefer the non-drinking behaviour as our way forward. So I've gone on a bit. Daily reflections for today, May 8th, and it says a resting place. It's the 5th month and the 5th step, which is all about sharing our fearless moral inventory with another person, as well as God, or good conscience. All of AA's 12 steps ask us to go contrary to our natural desires. They all deflate our egos. When it comes to ego deflation, few steps are harder to take than 5, but scarcely any step is more necessary to long time sobriety and peace of mind than this one. After writing down my character defects, I was unwilling to talk about them, and decided it was time to stop carrying this burden alone. I needed to confess those defects to someone else. I had read and been told I could not stay sober unless I did. Step 5 provided me with a feeling of belonging, with humility and serenity when I practiced it in my daily living. It was important to admit my defects of character, in the order presented in Step 5, to God, to ourselves, and to another human being. Admitting to God first paved the way for admission to myself and to another person. As the taking of the step is described, a feeling of being at one with God and my fellow man brought me to a resting place where I could prepare myself for the remaining steps toward a full and meaningful sobriety. Gosh, that's a big page full there. And the one in As Bill Sees It's even bigger, so I won't go there today. But you know, when we actually examine our good conscience, or we exhort a prayer or meditation to God around what we've done, or where we have gone wrong because we're full of fear, brave-facing and ego, and all the rest of it, all the 7 deadly sins, then we have the opportunity to say, okay, in the big picture of life, how may I proceed further? And to share it with another human being is an act of humility, so that we are understanding what is right about us and what has got in the way, the defects. So the gift is, on a daily basis, we learn humility rather than being prideful or ego-driven or putting on a brave face and being fearful. And the gift is, if we understand that we don't need fear the truth of ourselves, that we are merely human, and any human behaviour has a word to describe it, and it's been done thousands of millions of times before. We understand our true size. We're just the same as everybody else. So when I say, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and Step 5, it's just for today on a daily basis.